Hi guys, so today I'm going to teach you the basics of Photoshop. Now, I myself am a learner, a beginner. I am not an amateur. I am an amateur. I am not a professional. I am also learning along the way, and I hope you guys can learn something from me and perhaps teach me something as well. This video will be uploaded on YouTube, and this is primarily um, for the interns of Youth India Viman Nagar chapter. But if there is someone else who is also visiting this video or looking at it because they have been suggested this video, then I guess you can visit Viman Nagar chapter's Instagram page. I'll link it in the description, and check us out. If you like our work, then definitely follow us. However, this is not a promotional video. This is purely educational, and I hope that you guys can learn something from it. So today I am going to teach you how to design a 1 by 3 Instagram uh, post. So what do I mean by 1 by 3? Well, one row and three columns. So it's something like this: a slant post which will be divided into three parts and will be posted on Instagram. It will look like one post but an elongated post. So first you go in here. Firstly, you open Photoshop. When you click on it, this will open. Hopefully, this should open. You go in Create New. You select. You go here. Okay. You will get all these different sizes: photo, print, web, Instagram, mobile. You get all these different, dimensions. But we want to make our own dimensions. So you click here. Let's say Instagram 3 by 1. No, sorry, 1 by 3. So Instagram 1 by 3. Instagram 1 by 3. So a normal Instagram post is 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels, but we want 1 by 3. So we multiply the width by 3. So 1080 multiplied by 3, which comes to 3240, and the height will still remain 1080. And remember, if this is in inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, picas, whatever, picas, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, if it's any of these options, you select it to pixels and make sure the orientation is landscape. If it's portrait, then the width will be less than the height, and we don't want that. We want a 1 by 3 post, not a 3 by 1 post. So make sure the orientation is landscape. Resolution can be 72 or 300 or 150 as well. I like to keep it at 300 because I don't know why, but I guess it improves the quality of the picture and it helps you work nicely. But 150 may do the work. I have a system that can cope up with 300 pixels per inch, but sometimes it may slow your laptop down. So you can work with 72 pixels per inch as well, and 152. Preferably follow RGB. You can also take CMYK color, but RGB is the preferred one. Their differences are, very subtle, and there is some logic wherein one of them is better for printing, and I really don't know, and I won't quote anything on it, but there are multiple videos on YouTube uh, talking about which one is better, RGB or CMYK. So you can check those out and see. Background content can be white background, I mean anything, but I like to keep it white and create. So this is our Instagram post. If you see this, so the first thing that I do, I mean, there are different ways to do it. There is an option in grid and in new guide layout and doing this, but I personally don't like this, so I don't use this method. Basically, we need to create margins for ourselves for each post. So we are making 1, 2, and 3 posts. We are going to cut these, right? So for cutting them, we need margins so that we don't cross the border and make that entire post look dirty. We want each post to have an individuality, and at the same time they should merge together as well. So if you look carefully, the entire width is 10.8 inches. So 10.8 inches divided by 3, which should be 3.2, I guess. I mean, oh, I'm so bad at mathematics. 10.8 divided by 3. 3.6. I am very sorry. This should be very embarrassing in a YouTube video which is going to be made public, but anyway. So 3.6, that's my first day, and 3.6 plus 3.6 is 7.2, which should go about here. So these are our guidelines. So if you see, I'm making a new layer. I'll explain all this, why I'm pressing new layer, why I'm doing this. But this part, I'll crop it and I'll show you. This part is our this part is our first post, and similarly all these are, this is our leftmost, this is our centermost post, and this is our rightmost post. So I'll explain each tool because this is a guide of sorts for you guys to refer to. I'll try to put in timestamps so you can follow it along. The first tool is move tool. Now this move tool, I don't use the artboard tool much because I don't know what the use of it is, but move tool will do the work for you. So the move tool is your go-to tool. Whatever tool you use, let's say you use this tool, I'll explain what it is. You have to go back to the move tool in order to, I mean, nothing selected. If I go here, there is, if I go here and see, if you can see, I selected something, right? And I wanted to move it, so I had to go in the move tool. Okay, let me remember. Go here and go here. Control T. Yeah. So let me lock this. Uh, Locked. So I'll repeat. So this move tool is going to be your go-to tool. Whatever tool you are in, right? Whatever tool you use from this 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever tools are there, whatever tool you use, you go back to move tool, and you must remember the shortcut for this move tool. It is V. So V is going to be your go-to shortcut key. So make a habit of using this V again and again. But so what this tool does is basically it moves. What does it move? Well, anything and everything. Let's say if this layer I am selecting, okay, I'll explain all the layers part in detail. I colored this layer, right? If you can see, okay, let me see, I colored it green, right? Now I want to move this layer. I will go on the move tool and then I'll move it. I'll be able to move it. Now let's say I want to only move this left side of it, right? Then I go to the next tool, that is rectangular marquee tool. Marquee, I'm not sure, but yeah, pronunciations don't matter. I mean, they do, but then yeah. So this is called the rectangle tool. Famously, most often, people call this the rectangle tool or the rectangle selection tool. The rectangle tool is this actually, but people often use this as rectangle tool. Call this as rectangle tool. It is also called the marquee tool in short. So this is used for selecting particular elements. Let's say I just select this, okay, this tool. I click on it. I can also click on M. I mean, shortcuts are something that you must get accustomed to, but it's not a compulsion to know all these shortcuts. But if it's good if you get accustomed to it. So let's say I select the tool and I want only this part, this square. I just want to select this square, right? I just want this square. So I select it. Now I want to move the square. Then I'll press V, or in your case, click on here and oh, I sorry. Okay, quick. I remember this. So I'll explain this layer tab pehle, then I'll go into this tool. These layers are literally what they mean exactly what they say. They are layers. Layers. If you'll see, layers do what layers are meant to do. What they mean. Each layer acts upon the layer below it. So let's say I select this layer 2, right? And layer 2 is this center being white. Oh, I deselected. Being white. Yeah. So here, if you'll see, this layer is on layer 1. So if you'll see, layer 1 mein the green color is still here. it hasn't gone away, it's still there. But because we added this extra layer of layer 2, the it is hiding all the contents on layer 1. So layer 1 acts as the base for it. So similarly, layer 0 is the base for the entire both layer 1 and layer 2. But I have locked layer 0, matlab I can't move layer 0 because I have locked it, I can't move it. Layer 1 is the base for layer 2. Similarly, if I'll make a new layer called layer 3 and I'll add something again using our rectangle tool, let's say a green part again. Now layer 3 is sitting on layer 2 and layer 1. So let's say if I take layer 1 above all of this, it will all go away. So now layer 3 acts as a base of layer 1. But layer 3 is smaller than layer 1. There is only this element in it. So layer 1 covers everything. But now if I'll do this, right? So if you can see, layer 3 is on top of layer 2, layer 2 is on top of layer 1, but layer 3 automatically stays on top of layer 1. That's A equal to B, B equal to C, therefore A equal to C, somewhat around those lines. But we keep on adding layers, and these layers keep on going above each previous layer. So layers play an important role. Why? Because let's say I am going in layer 2, right? Layer 2 is just this white part. If you can see carefully, I don't know, no, I can't zoom in, but if you can see carefully, you can see these checkered boards. This eye acts as a real eye. If I click on the eye, the that layer will disappear. So now I close my eyes for each layer. You can say that I close my eyes. So this checkered, these checks show transparent layer. So this is what a transparent layer will look like. So currently, according to Photoshop, there is nothing in this part. So I'm trying to select, but nothing is being selected. Now that I add this, now this is getting selected. Understood? So these layers act as play a very important role. So in level 2, in layer 2, I mean layer 2, in layer 2, okay, wait. Yeah. So in layer 2, this part, this side is empty. In layer 2, this side is empty and this side is empty. Only this middle part is there. So I can only select this middle part. Yeah. So I can only select this middle part. There is no other part to it. Similarly, in layer 3, I can only select this part. I'll delete this for now. I'll delete all of this. So I was explaining these tools. So I create a new layer because I want to create a base, right? And I use this rectangular marker tool. Let's say I want to color only this part. I color it. I will tell you how to color it. But I color it. Now when I go back to the move tool using V or clicking at it again, I can move that singular part. Now let's say there is another layer which is completely green, right? So now it depends on the layer I am in, but I am not on any layer for now. So when I click over here, it will select the layer that is above layer, which is the most, which is the highest layer of the entire composition. It will select that layer. So for, let's say, yeah, this is here, layer 1 is below layer 2, so it will select that. But now let's say layer 1 becomes above layer 2, then if I click here, it will select only layer 1. If you can see, I have only selected layer 1 right now. I can't prove it because it's also green, but if you see this margin that is coming on the left side, that's because of me selecting layer 1. And I'll just tilt it over here. Yeah. So that's how these layers work, and that's how now let's say you want to select, you have created layer 2, okay, you don't have layer 1. Now you want to select a part of it, so you just drag it, go here, and then voila, magic happens. I mean, that's why Photoshop is so nice, right? You can just remove pieces. I mean, if let's say you have a photo, right, and there is this annoying friend that you hate having photos with them, so you just go here, you click, you select. Remember, currently I haven't selected any layer, and therefore I won't be able to delete anything. But once I select layer 2 and I press delete, bye bye. That person, whoever it is forever outside your photos. Yeah. So that's it. That's the rectangular marquee tool. Let's say you want to remove a circle. Okay, you just use that. You draw a it's called an elliptical marquee tool because it doesn't draw perfect circles, but you can try to draw perfect circles. I'll tell you how. So I draw this, right. Okay, I'll do the I'll go here again. I have to explain these elements. Okay, again. So okay, so here I have this tool, okay, marquee tool. This means selecting, new selection. This is adding to the selection. So I've selected this. Now if I'll again draw, it will deselect this, right? I'll again select this. Now I selected this, but I realized that here there is one friend which I don't want in my picture, but again there is another person here that I don't want them to be in the photo as well. So I click on this, okay, add selection, and I just add that. So now that extra person also gets deleted. And then you remember, having selected the layer, just press backspace or delete. If you have delete, then delete. If you have backspace, then backspace, and voila, you that person is forever out of your pictures. Okay, quick tip. Now you realize, oh, but the picture is ruined. I wanted it to be a good picture, and now it is no longer a good picture. So you want to undo. So you do Control Z, Control Z for that matter. But now you realize that, oh, Photoshop only Photoshop has this feature, right, wherein it undoes and it redos. So let's say I draw this, okay, but don't want it. So I press Control Z. Let me see. I'll draw this. Control Z. Control. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I'll go this. Let's say, okay, I'm going to. What do I do? No, I'll draw something. I've drawn this, okay, I've drawn this, and I didn't want that, so I do Control Z. Oh, but then I realize I wanted it again, so I do Control Z again. So that's how Photoshop works, wherein Control Z is undo, then Control Z is redo. But now you realize that I want to go two steps back. I want to go multiple steps back. So you press Control Alt and then Z. Control Alt Z. So now previous steps will also repeat. So now back to the original photo. I should have used an actual photo, but I don't have photos with more than two people in the same frame, and I don't want to be rude to my friends, so I'm not using an original photo. So this is how these play a role. This is for selection. This is for adding one. Now let's say you by mistake added a person, and you now added a person in the selection, but you want them in the photo. So you just go whoop, and they are again in the photo. That is called remove selection, subtract from selection, or remove. And intersect is intersect, but I guess intersect isn't that important, so I won't talk about it. All these other things are just for, let's say if I take fixed ratio, right, so it will automatically make a circle. So that's how you make a circle. Either you can click fixed ratio, and you can do that. You can do fixed size as well, and that will fix the radius. And I never use that because it puts a restriction on your selections. You just press. So you are here, okay, you select this. It's an ellipse, you want a circle. So either you can go in style and do that, or the better way, the shortcut way, is pressing shift. Pressing shift will make a perfect circle. If you can see the width and the height, I can't move my mouse towards it, but if you can see, the width is perfectly equal to the height, which is 1.920, 1.90. Pressing shift will make a perfect circle. Leaving shift will make an ellipse, and you can make any ellipse, but if you want a circle, then you do this. Why would you use a circle, right? Let's say you go here, you go make a new layer, and you add white. Now after, you can add an image here. You can add a number of elements in this, and you can, I mean, if currently I can see a moon, this can be used as a moon as well. I don't know why a moon is coming into my mind. Perhaps because I binge watched Twilight yesterday. Okay, I didn't, but that's a good joke. Oh, this is awkward. Anyway, so yeah, you can use your elliptical tool to make circles. This is the tool to make circles. These two tools are not useful for me, so I've never used them. I would suggest you guys to see tutorials on them privately, separately. The lasso tool. Now, this lasso tool is a boon, a very big boon. So, why do I say this? I'll open um a photo of myself if I have one. I mean, I should have one. Why do I have Thomas Haley's photo? I don't know. I have Kunal Shah's photo as well. Let's take Kunal Shah, our beloved Kunal Shah. If you guys don't know, he's the developer of Cred, the company which has that app called Cred. I mean, you guys have seen the advertisements, right? So Lasso tool, Lasso tool. If I'll see this tool, right, it's used for selection. Okay, first of all, let's do this. When you import a photo, right, you can either drag drop, or you can go here, you can press on open recent, and then you can click and it will open, and then you can drag and drop, but that's a very lengthy process. You can just simply take and place it, and it will automatically place the photo, and here it will come. But now if you'll see, I won't be able to edit this photo. Could not complete the request because smart object is not directly editable. So either you can do this, wherein you click on the photo and it will open it in a different window, but we don't want to do that. We want to edit it here. So right click on it and rasterize layer. I don't know if this is technically correct or if there is another way to do that, but I do it that way, and it has always worked for me, and it's easy to do, so I do that. Now, if you see carefully, I don't want the background, right? I just go here, I draw a rectangle, and then I press backspace. Oh, I didn't select the layer, backspace. So that went away. I do this here as well, that went away. I do this here as well, I backspace. I draw here, I backspace. I draw it here, I press backspace. But then these curves are a problem for us, wherein I can try, but then I won't be able to draw a perfect square, a perfect curve using a rectangle. I mean, some mathematicians can argue that you can, but practically it's very difficult to do that. So we have the lasso tool for that. The lasso tool can be used to do this, and then cut, and I cut his entire shoulder, which looks very bad because I didn't do a good job. Oh, I can't undo it. Why? Because I'm pressing Control Z. I have to press Control Alt Z. So Control Alt Z, and it came back. Correct. So now I can do this wherein I zoom in and I do this and carefully select this, then delete, then move ahead and then do this, and then delete and go ahead and this, and then I selected something extra, so I have to draw it again, and I do this, and then again I have to do this and delete. But if you'll see, it looks very weird, and we want a smoother flow. So I can use the polygonal lasso tool. Polygon means, I don't remember the exact definitions, but basically you can select points. I'll explain it better in a better way. So you go here, right, and you have this pixelated photo of our friend Kunal Shah, the CEO of Cred, and Cred hasn't paid me to advertise their app. I don't know why, but I just love the word Cred, so I'm using it again and again. And I just do this, and I go ahead and I do this, and I go ahead and I do this. Okay, wait, I forgot to explain. See, this what happened. This is what happens. I have practiced this, so I am just pressing space and moving ahead. I forgot to give this instruction. So now when you are here, right, you can either do this wherein you put your screen to the top and drag slowly, or you can press space and then click and then drag and then leave space, then space, click and drag, leave space, click, space and drag, leave space, and click, leave and drag, and now that you've made this polygon of sorts, now you just have to double click and it selects the curve. I press Ctrl D and you can see a fine line that has left. Now I'll enlarge the picture a bit and try my best. The more points you have, the more smooth the curve will be. This curve won't be smooth at all because I'm not doing a great work at it, but I don't want to spend my time cutting photos of Mr. Kunal Shah. I mean, look at this wonderful beast. Okay, that was very weird. But if you can see now, let me take this out a bit. I'll remove this bit as well. This looks a bit messy, and quite honestly it is a bit messy, but now that you see it from afar it looks like a curve, and it's much better than this. Having cut shoulders of Mr. Kunal is definitely not something we want. We want to impress him so that he can give us an advertisement to run for cred. Okay, that's a very bad joke and I should drop it. I understand. So that is what these lasso tool and polygonal lasso tool do. Lasso tool is used by clicking and dragging and completing and then deleting. And polygon, but you can see that it's still a little bit stiff because the natural curve, right, of the photo is different than what our manual hands can do. Professionals can do a very good job of doing that. I am not a professional. Remember, guys, to have this on ad, okay? Don't keep it on here, otherwise nothing will happen. I mean, now that you do this, it will reduce, and we don't. Okay, sorry. So keep it on add. So if I do this, okay, then I want to add a bit of this, and then I want to add a bit of this. So that happens. So this polygon is used for click, 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 and now that it's over, double click and then delete. Now you might be wondering why the green part is not deleting, right? Because we are not selecting that layer, it's not getting deleted. Now I am on this layer, right? And I press delete. Oops, that disappeared and I want to undo. Oh wait, Control Alt Z. Now okay, I hate his face. I want to remove his face. I don't know why I said that. I mean, he's such a cute guy. I don't want to remove his face. I want Kunal Shah, I can remove. If I'm on layer 2, I can't remove. Understood? That's how it works. So these are the tools. Now magnetic lasso tool. Magnetic lasso tool is always a tricky tool to work with, and I personally don't believe that it's the best tool to work with, but it's basically us. You click, okay, you click. How does this work? You can zoom in and you can keep it zoomed out as well. If you can see carefully, right here, you can see how this part is completely black, whereas this is a little bit light. So the magnetic lasso tool jumps onto these pixels where uh, it finds similarities, it finds patterns, and wherever we let me finish this, it it finds patterns. And okay, wait, yeah. So what do I mean by that? So let's say I'm here and I go here and I draw very carefully. For now it's selecting the background, so I need to push a bit. I hate this tool and I never use it much. It has come in handy sometimes, but for a photo you don't want to do this because it's very important to have all the elements properly. But you just drag it on the border where you want it, and now close it and then delete. Oops. Blunder. Sorry guys, this was supposed to be the other way around. Actually it was supposed to be, oh yeah, I have now here I have selected this image. I want the background to get deleted, right? So I press Control J. Control J is the option for duplicating. So if you'll see now, I only have this much part. When I delete this, I only have this much part remaining. You didn't understand? I selected something, right, Abhi? I'll show you. I selected this. Whatever I selected, I press Control J, or I can also right click. No, I can't right click. I can press Control J and duplicate that element, and then when I click this eye, so I close my eyes for that layer, and in layer 3 I can see that this guy is here. So that's what these tools are great for photo editing and background editing, and sometimes they are also useful for doing this. Bye bye, Kunal. Thank you for joining us today. You can do it for creating. Now, most people prefer to use the polygonal tools that are given in the bottom here for doing this, but you can say, let's say you want to make some elements, right? You want to make this white and or this, let's say you want to make it whatever this color is, a bit ivorish. So, I mean, this could have been done with this as well, the rectangular marquee tool, whatever. But now let's say I want to make something along the lines of this. I messed it up a bit, but I'll do that again. So I made this, okay. What is this? Now, this can do so many things. Let's say I do this, right, and then I put it here, and I want the title to be, I'm going to show something. Don't worry, all this will be taught in the later part. Text, and I'll make it extra bold. Text. Now remember, I can't move this because I am on here. I want to move it, so I press V and then I can move it. So text. Now, if you can see, this acts as a platform of such. If I give it a stroke and I make that stroke a little bit violent and a bit dark, and that's, it looks decent. It doesn't look magnificent, but this can be used for that as well. The next tool is, how long I'm been recording for? 32 minutes. Oh, this is quite a long video. Okay, I'll stop recording here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll record another video very soon.